Does it feel like everyone around you is in their self-development bag, getting up there with their money, faith, relationships? If you don't want to be left behind and don't know where to start, keep watching this video. Hey lovelies, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, my name is Janelle. I make holistic self-development videos like this, along with some vlogs showcasing my self-development, as well as waist speed videos for my subscribers that originally got to me through the waist speeds. We tend to lean more into the faith slash spirituality side of things when we do explore the waist speeds discussions and things like that. So if any of that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe to the channel and let's get into the video. So these are my 7 practical self-development tips to help get you started on your holistic self-healing journey. So when you are trying to develop the whole, it's important to make sure you spend time focusing on the separate parts, which are body, your mind, your faith slash spirituality, your finances, and your relationships. The only thing is, they're never going to be completely covered because it's a journey. It's ever evolving, ever changing. As soon as you learn something, it adjusts and you'll have to learn more to get to the next level. In saying that, don't be discouraged. It is about the journey. We are going to have fun doing this, and we're going to start with the first step, which is develop an attitude of gratitude. What do I mean by that? None of us like an ungrateful person. You can probably think of 1 or 2 people in your life that if you were to get something, you wouldn't necessarily think of giving it to them first, just because of the way they typically behave. They don't seem to be grateful for what you've provided to them. Whenever you do get more, it is less likely that you will give them more because of the attitude. So just like that person and how you would feel, think of the universe, a higher power, God, whoever you, if you do just believe in yourself, just think about how you would feel, or how would that entity feel hearing that you complain for everything that you have. In the Bible, there is a quote that I hear a lot on this journey: he who has will get more, and he who has not, even what he has will be taken away. So what is it that they have or do not have? It is gratitude. So if you are living with a grateful spirit, you will end up receiving more. The universe just opens up a lot of opportunities to somebody that is happy and grateful for what they already have. Now, if you don't, you'll find that you'll stay stagnant. You complain a lot. Everything that you already have seems to keep being taken away from you. You don't get to keep what you believe you have, and if you do, it just becomes all tattered and ugly and gross. So it's pretty much like not having it in the first place. Now, how do you develop an attitude for gratitude? For me, what I started doing was habit stacking. So if you read James Clear's Atomic Habits, you will learn about habit stacking. Now, I did learn to do it before reading this book, but I am recommending this because I learned in lots of different books and compiled my knowledge into getting my habits together. But then I read it in here and I was like, should have just started here. So I'm recommending just starting here. So habit stacking is pretty much getting whatever you typically do. So if you have a routine, like a morning routine, which is what I do, is I added an attitude of gratitude with my routine. So what that looks like is I will get up in the morning and feeling fully grateful that I've woken up, knowing that it isn't guaranteed that everyone's going to wake up. And something I learned a few years back, which terrified me for quite a bit of time, it kind of shifted my paradigm in that moment, which was not everybody who dies in their sleep had a previous illness of some sort. And that may be a simple concept for a lot of people to have grown up with and thought, okay, well, duh. But for me, I always just assumed you probably were sick, you already had like epilepsy, you had a seizure in your sleep, or you were already passing away from a terminal illness or something, and then you go in your sleep. But no, it's freakier that your brain can just forget to tell your heart to beat, and that's it. Your brain can just have a blip and that's it. I just became very, very grateful knowing that it could be over any moment. So just be grateful for what we have, right? So I will start off by saying thank God for me waking up. That's who I decide to say thanks to. And then I'll make my way to the bathroom. Before making my way to the bathroom, of course, I'm stretching and just thanking God for the ability to be able to do that. Not everybody can lift their arms over their head. So if you can do that, like right now, if you're able to do that, just know there's a percentage of the population that cannot do that at all and will not be able to ever do that. So just be grateful in that alone. Now, that's what I do throughout the morning. I go to brush my teeth, just being very mindful, being very grateful in the moment, knowing that just it's a peace, it's a pleasure to be able to do these things for myself and not have anyone having to do these for me. Then another way I maintain a attitude of gratitude is journaling. So this is one of the journals I use. I start the day with journaling. I typically just write that I'm so happy and grateful for this, and this, and I'll list a bunch of things that I'm grateful for, whether it be huge things like a home to live in. For me, that's a huge thing. To be able to travel, to be able to have experiences, family, love, just all of those good things, and down to the smaller things that we don't think about, the automatic things like our hearts beating without us thinking, our bodies regulating our temperature, just a bunch of things that we don't typically think of, but just sit with that. And I try to fill the page. So these, I'll just show it a blank page. It's just blank. You can do one with lines, but I just use a blank page and I just fill it up. Sometimes I'll just write across, but because it's blank, sometimes I like to make patterns and play around with it. But just have fun, just really thinking about how grateful you are for everything you have. And with that gratitude, it does activate your reticular activation system, which is going to allow you to see more things in the world like what you've been thinking about a lot, which is gratefulness. So you will have more things brought to you for you to be grateful for. So that goes back to the Bible verse, he who has will get more, right? So you can also do your journaling at night. Sometimes I do it at night if I skipped it in the morning. I try to keep a routine, but you know, sometimes just that. Okay. So one single act of gratitude increases happiness by 10% and reduces depression symptoms by 35%. And developing this gratitude of attitude has been a game changer in my life. So again, that's one, developing a gratitude of attitude. Gratitude of attitude, developing an attitude of gratitude. Number 2 practical tip for self-development is to drink more water. So how much is enough water? That's up in the air for a lot of us. I only suggest drinking more than what you're already drinking. Suggested we drink a gallon. That's excessive for a lot of us. Not everybody needs a gallon of water. 8 eighths may not be enough for some, or again, that could be a bit too much for, depending on your body size and your activity levels and so on and so forth. So what I did to make sure I consumed more water is to have it readily available. We know through something called the availability bias that it's human nature to go for something that is easily within reach. So what I did was keep one of these out in the room that I'm in the most. If I'm working at my desk, then I'll keep it on my desk, or I'll keep it on my dresser, or just wherever I am. I just made sure I had this by me. Now, when I first started, this is about 1.5 liters, I believe. Yeah. So it's 1.5 liters, 50.7 fluid ounces. I made it not necessarily a challenge. I made it a culture to take sips of these throughout the day, or just, I don't really sip. I just gulp for a little bit, and then I won't drink for a while, and then I'll gulp. So honestly, I didn't complete it every day in the beginning. I had to gradually work my way up to completing. But what I would do is that wherever I ended up, then I'll continue the rest for the next day, and so on and so forth, until I started drinking more. And now I typically try to drink most of this. I don't try to drink all of it in one day either. I just try to drink as much as I can. I don't beat myself up if I don't get it complete in the day, but I just try to drink as much as I can, and then continue the next day. If you don't like water, you don't enjoy drinking water, I can suggest looking for water you like, obviously. I tend to drink a lot of spring water and if these alkaline waters, because I buy these by the case at Publix, so another way to get a lot of water in is just to make sure you stock up on a lot of water. If you do miss it for a day or two, you can fall back into old habits. So just making sure you stock up on a lot of water can help. Enhancing your water with some fruit or natural flavors can help you drink water throughout the day. I like to put a little lemon or lime in there sometimes. Those are mostly on days I feel like detoxifying, but for the most part, I just drink my water. Okay. Now, the third tip would be to eat whole foods as much as possible. Now, I know there's a lot going on social media. Eat this, this is good for you, that's bad for you, stay away from this is poisonous, and all of these things. I feel like the best thing to do is do what works for you and slowly make adjustments to where you'll get to what works for you and is what's best for you as well. So what works for you and what's best for you, when those powers combined, coincidence, right? Collide. So we want to develop a way for us to be able to get to that point. The way I do it is not holding myself to an unrealistic standard. I just attempt every time I go grocery shopping to take a look at the ingredients. So you want as little ingredients as possible. Whole foods, of course, like apples, oranges, fruits and vegetables and things. Single ingredients, that's what we're looking at as whole foods. If you are going to have packaged foods, try to have them as little processing as possible. You don't want anything with more than 12 ingredients in it. You want to try and keep it to about 2 to 3 ingredients depending on what it is you're eating. So my biggest thing right now is just I'm making sure I stay away from a lot of the dyes. There are times where I eat things and there are dyes in it, like reds and yellow dyes. I'm working on making sure that I don't have any of that in my diet. So I'll tend to stay away from that as much as possible. Okay, I try not to do white and enhanced type of products, something where they've stripped nutrients out and added nutrients back in. So if you are reading your labels at the back, you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. I feel like just starting with just being able to read the ingredients on the label, that's typically what you want to do when you're looking for whole foods. So that's number 3. Select whole foods wherever you can. The fourth tip is to read or consume as much development content as possible. So what I mean with that is you need to figure out what you want to do, what your journey to self-development is really for. What are you developing this person for? Now, if you are a cook and you enjoy cooking and you want to do something in the culinary field, but you say to yourself, I cannot go to school because it's too expensive right now. I have to be working a 9 to 5. I have a family to take care of and it's just not in the cards for me right now. I would suggest educating yourself as best as you can, starting with what you have. So you're going to use what you have, which is the internet, obviously, because you're watching me now. So you have the internet. So you'll go on your Googles or your Safaris and you'll ask what the best content to learn such and such for. So let's say, again, I wanted to be in the culinary arts. What do they do for culinary? It's Safe Serve is one of those tests that you would have to do, right? So I would, for myself, go on Google, find out what the best books are to learn about the field. Then what I would do is either I'll go to YouTube to see if any of those books are Audible, or you could go into Audible also. And then I'd also check Amazon to see if there are any reasonably priced books to use. You can also check out garage sales and things in your area. Of course, those aren't as straightforward because it's a hit and miss type of thing with things like that. But you can always have your eye out for that, because once you do start to look into the field, your reticular activating system is going to activate, and then you'll be able to see instances and opportunities come up for the field that you want. So no matter what you want to accomplish, whatever you want to develop for, just know you can start wherever you are and go on. So there's lots of resources, and I can look for some and put them in the what's that description down below. So you can check those out. Just ideas of things you can do to start where you are, but you are going to want to develop that. No matter what field you go into, I feel like it's very necessary to have some marketing under your belt when you are learning and growing. You can spend an hour or so a day. You don't have to spend too much time, and you can also habit stack through the physical book, or you can just listen to an audiobook by habit stacking it into something that you are already doing. I also enjoy listening to TED Talks. There are lots of TED Talks here on YouTube, so you can start with just a random one and you can find out what you enjoy watching by what comes up next, or you can just search around and see what you might be interested in. Even if you're not fully interested in something, it's still suggested to just check it out. Try something new each day. You can listen to those in the background as you're tidying up or doing something else. You don't have to put all of your attention into that if you don't have the time to do it, because a lot of the time we are saying we don't have enough time, but it's just we don't have a sense of urgency when it comes to following the things that we do need to follow a lot of the time. But that's another subject for another video. We're going to leave that there. All right. Also, of course, if there's TED Talks in the subject in which you want to venture into, then clearly just go ahead and watch that. But again, there are so many books, and there are audiobooks to listen to. You can sit down and read a book. Develop a time and a place for you to read each day. It will be a game changer. Number 5 is improve the company you keep. It's often said that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you are looking around you and you're seeing people not doing what you want to do, not trying to elevate and develop themselves, it's a good idea to get out of your comfort zone and venture off and meeting new people. It can be nerve-wracking to meet new people and to speak up sometimes, but it is also necessary in order for you to develop. You're going to develop skills in talking to different people in different walks of life. In most cases, you're going to need to be that person that can maneuver through different situations with different people, different personalities in order to be successful. So just getting those skills in order sooner rather than later is an awesome thing. And something more recently I heard is it's not the average of the 5 people, you're actually the least of the 5 people. So if you are around people that you don't think are anything, you really, really, really need to have some more urgency getting out there and meeting new people. People you want to be like, you aspire to be like. Maybe they're kinder, maybe they have more money, more influence. If you want to be like them, you have to be around them. Okay, so we're on to number 6, which is to get active. Move your body. I don't care what you do, what I do. Get your heart rate going. Move your body. So we're all at different levels. We're all at different stages. Wherever you are, just increase it just a little bit more. For me, I always suggest starting with walking. If you're able to walk, walk. Let's say you are out of shape and haven't done anything for a while, start with walking 5 minutes away from your house. Just walk, setting a timer for 5 minutes, walk as far as you can for 5 minutes, and then walk back for 5 minutes. And you can check it off to say that you've done something that day. It might sound crazy to someone that is very active and think 5 minutes, what are you going to do with 5 minutes? Again, if you're going as fast as you can, 5 minutes out and then coming back, you're going to have a sense of accomplishment, and it's going to be very likely that you'll continue that again and again each day when you're not putting too much pressure on yourself. Now, once you do the 5 minutes, the next day maybe you're going to do 10 minutes or 12 minutes. You can increase incrementally and then come back again. That could be a little challenge for yourself until you realize you get into a flow of just going on a walk every day. I don't suggest skipping days, like off on the weekends. I feel like every single day for at least 21 days, at the very least, 21 days of taking a 5-minute walk, 6-minute, 7-minute walk, and coming back, you're starting that habit of getting active. Now, if you're already walking and you need to increase intensity, then I would suggest jogging for a short burst and then going back to walking, or dancing. I don't like to run myself personally. I run occasionally. I like to sprint, but I don't really like to run. But I do incorporate that when I do my walk, and then I might dance for a bit, and then back to walking. So you're gonna get a high intensity interval training. So you get a little HIIT workout when you are slowing your heart rate down and then speeding up really fast and then slowing it down again. You're going to burn a lot more calories that way, and you'll be able to see and feel results a lot quicker to keep you on that routine of being active. Again, whatever level you are on, you just increase it. So if you don't want to go to the gym, not everybody wants to go to the gym, you can use your own body weights in your home, and there are workouts free on YouTube in order for you to work out. I personally got a kettlebell from Ross. Surprisingly, I don't even think it was supposed to be there. Let me show you. It was only $10. Wait, it's $5. It was only $10. Look. Oh, it was right here this whole time. So I got this 25-pound kettlebell from Ross. I feel like this was one of those law of attraction universe opening up, because I wanted a heavier kettlebell. But if you can't find this, because it is Ross, if you have a Five Below next to you, I did start off with these. So this is, I think it's like Halle Berry and Jilly and Michaels. They had like lines at Five Below. So these were about $5 each. So you can start off with kettlebell workouts, I suggest, because you can do a full body workout with a video from YouTube. That winded me. So you just pop a video on and use your kettlebells, or if you don't if you can't buy kettlebells, just anything that's going to bring a little weight. You could use some water bottles. If you have like one of these that's filled up, yes, you could use that above your head. There's lots of ways you can work it out. Just again, get active. Now, the 7th practical tip is to love yourself. As corny as that may sound, it's very, very important for us to have compassion with ourselves. Know that if you are starting a development journey, or if you're continuing, and this video is here just to help guide you with some more practical tips. Knowing that you probably had many years of not doing things that are very productive, it is difficult to get started sometimes. So just think of yourself as if you are thinking of a child that is just learning to walk. When a baby learns to walk and falls over, you're not going to start getting mad at the child unless you're a lunatic. You're not going to get mad at that baby for not being able to walk right away. They're going to stumble, they're going to fall, but they'll get up again until they're finally able to walk. It's a process. It's always going to be a process, because each level you go up, you are learning new things. You're learning to walk all over again. So don't be too hard on yourself. Make sure you take time to love on yourself. You take time to just give yourself the love, care, and attention that you actually do need. Because you've likely been neglecting yourself for a long, long time. And just like you didn't get into a rut overnight, you won't get out of the rut overnight. So every time you do feel as if you've fallen off or you skipped a day, don't take too long processing and thinking and overthinking it. Just know that you're going to do better the next day. We're not going to do that each time and say we're not going to miss 2 days in a row. That's another thing. Make sure you never miss 2 days in a row. You can miss one day. I'm not saying you can. You shouldn't even miss one day. But if you do miss one day, make sure it doesn't become 2. So even if you don't put the biggest amount of effort in for the longest time, try to put the biggest amount of effort in for a small amount of time, and you'll be able to check that off. Then you'll have a sense of accomplishment, and showing up for yourself makes you respect yourself more, and then you'll show up for yourself more. Now, those are the 7 tips I originally had, but one bonus tip, which is what you should actually start this whole process with, and that's developing your faith. First, before any of this starts, for me, what I did was I got on my knees and prayed to God. I prayed to God for the strength to get me through everything that I've gone through so far, and I continue to ask God to give me the strength to continue going on this journey. Now, whatever God looks like to you, because my definition of God versus yours, it doesn't matter. As long whatever you think, whether it be God as a deities up in the sky daddy, or whether the God is within you, which I tend to lean towards more. And then, or if you don't believe in God at all, or you believe in the universe is creating things, or if you more lean to nature and botany to access whatever it is, just know that you need something to lead and guide you on this way, something to lean back on anytime things get a little rough for you. So that is it for this video. I hope this helps. I hope it was very helpful, actually, because I don't want to do this for nothing. But I know there are lots of videos that are on the internet, and I was hesitating when it came to bringing this out, but I know not everybody relates to everybody, so I'm hoping I have quite a few of you relating to me and want more videos like this from me. And if you do, let me know that in the comment section down below, because I have lots of ideas. Like this video to let me know to make more. Subscribe to the channel so you can follow my holistic self-development journey also. So until next time, lovelies.